Hello everyone and welcome to this video, and in today's video I am going to show you and talk about Crowfall. Now this is a brand new game that is still in development, so I can't say too much about it because everything that I may speak and talk about today and what I will show you may change in the future because it's still pre-alpha and there are currently two versions of it, which I will need to show you in a sec. So let me copy and paste it here. There are two versions. We have the test version and the live version, and I'm gonna show you the test version, which would be the first one here. Now keep in mind, not everybody will have this test version. It was due to the packet that I purchased way back then when it was still a Kickstarter, and that's why I'm gonna show you this because it will be a little bit ahead of the live server. The live server is playable. You can actually play the game, and you can also have some fun in there. Now, as I mentioned before, it's still pre-alpha of the day of recording, and they are still working and developing it. But it's been quite some time since I talked about it, so let's dive right into it, into the test server, and see what we can find. Now, I also know that we're going to do a reset. I am not certain if this has happened yet, so my apologies if it's still the older one. So this is the pre-alpha test version 5.100.2012, I guess. So we have like a couple of things. We have like the campaign, God's Reach, and personal kingdoms. Now, personal kingdoms are your own unique world that you can create. So we have like characters, and I already have a pre-character loaded. Um, but first, before we actually dive into it, I'm gonna show you the skills. And as I said, it has been a while. So let me go back to the first screen. So we have like all the selections here. Um, so these are basically the videos on how to do it. They're just showing you how, and so on and so on. So we have primary skills. There are 3 different tabs you can choose from depending on where you want to go. So first is combat. If you're like full PvP or PvE, and you don't care about crafting or farming or that kind of stuff, and combat is more your style, then go full combat. If you're more of a crafter and you like to create things such as gear, tools, vessels, jewelry, or any other profession, you can go to the crafting tab. Or if you're more as a farmer, like you like to go out there, farm food and herb, mine, chop down trees and all that kind of stuff, then Explorer is the way to go. Depending on what you choose, it can verify. Bleh! I can't even talk properly. My apologies. I'm a little bit overworked and a little bit overstressed, and it has been a while since I actually did a video on this. So my apologies for that. Normally I will have a person with me, but unfortunately, due to reasons, he will not be here, and basically everything came down to me. So I'm a little bit overworked, and that's why I've been delayed with these type of videos. So my apologies for that. I would have done this sooner, but I've just been massively overworked, and I still have a lot on my plate. So without any further that, you get points. These points will automatically regen over time. Personally, I'm like a crafter, so we're gonna select it, and we're gonna spend our points on it. Now, as you can see, I already filled up some of these things. You simply click them and you can train them if you have the skills unlocked and so on and so on. And for some, oh, I have 0 points on this one. Let's see. I thought I had more points. I guess I already used them. Let's see. Oh, we have some points here to spend. That's why. There we go. So we can just click on what we want to train. And I think I spent all my points. Yep, I spent all my points. You can see on the bottom how many points you have, I think. And depending on which one you're trained, you gain points, as you can see. Now this is kind of like a passive training, so if you're offline it will still go up, and if you play the game it will also keep rising, but there is a cap at some extent, so as you can see it doesn't go up anymore, so I need to spend some points. I think this system is quite awesome because that way if people don't have that much time to play, they can still tag along with the rest of the guildies or friends without actually losing too much progress, so you don't feel too left behind. So I think that's a good move on their part. There we go, we spent all our points. Now I guess I already selected that I wanted to train one of these, so that's where it's going. Crafting. So that's basically the skill tree. Now keep in mind this will change eventually. Like I think that is still the old system that they're using. I'm not quite sure because it's been a while, but I have seen some changes in here as well. But anyway, let's go back to the rest of the stuff. Let's go personal kingdoms first, if we have it available. Now there are 3 tabs, as I said before, God's Reach and Campaign and so on. But let's launch this one first. Now this may take some time. You also can have multiple characters. Oh yeah, I forgot I have a vessel that I crafted. So you can literally craft vessels. So you have the standard human and you have the ones that you can create, which can be better vessels, means that they can actually have more stats, such as more HP, more attack power, and so on and so on. So I'm gonna select the vessel, and you can see the stats on it. It has some more dexterity and so on and so on, and the normal one has less, but I don't think I can show that one. It has durability on it, so eventually it will break down, but yeah, I can't really say too much about it. And there will be some more color customizations in the character later on, I think, but I don't think this is that high a priority on their list. But for now we're just gonna use this one because that's the one that is already leveled a little, so I can show you a little bit more. So this is roughly how it looks like right now. Now this is the personal kingdom, as I mentioned before. This is basically your own little world that you can create, and everything that you basically see can be crafted. So yeah, that's something that is quite nice. Now, as I mentioned before, this is still pre-alpha, but this is roughly how it looks at the moment, and you can see I'm already wearing armor. Basic farm is real simple. You chop down trees, you get resources, and you pick them up by just walking over them. Let's see, what else? We have the crafting. Now keep in mind that more abilities or more stuff will be available once you get the skills for them. Here we have the character screen, we have the mounts, and so on and so on. We have the gear. Now keep in mind this is still Still in development, so it may change in the future. We have some resources, and I noticed that there's more and more coming into the game the further they get. So, as I mentioned before, it's still pre-alpha, but more and more stuff is being brought into the game. We can basically see all our stats to the major details. We can see our craft skills. And as I mentioned before, more and more details are being added as we speak. So it's quite detailed, and the choices that you can have, especially with the abilities. Now I can't show you the abilities right now because I just don't have everything unlocked yet. But you can basically choose which abilities you want to use. So if you want to be a tank that is able to heal, then you can actually do that. You can actually be a tank that can heal. Now keep in mind, if you're not a dedicated healer, you will not heal as much as a dedicated healer, but you can still be a tank and heal at the same time. Now this doesn't make you OP. It's like, oh, I will never die. You will still die. It's more like you can heal, but as I mentioned before, it will not be that you're healing the same amount as a dedicated healer, as far as I'm aware of. Other than that, we also have talents, which you can unlock more and more the further you level and the further you go. Now you cannot pick everything. Like at some point you will have to make a choice on which route you're going for. So keep that in mind. They will allow you to select some bits here and there, but at the end you will have to make a choice. So you will not be able to unlock everything. Now there are multiple bits here and there, depending on what you choose, and you will unlock bits and pieces the further you go along this line. So that's the talents. Now, like I said before, more and more stuff is being added to the game. So that's that. Then we have the abilities. You can basically drag your abilities wherever you want them to be. Like for example, if you want this, you can literally put it anywhere you want. The blue bar is for harvesting, as in like out of combat, and the red bar is for combat. Now keep in mind, some races will have more slots than others. Each race has his own unique abilities and skills and slots to use. So keep that in mind as well. And some races are better at skinning than others. As a human, we get like an additional slot, but that's part of our race. Let's see, what else can I say about this? So yeah, we have the passive as well. So the passive skills can be like dragged and clicked where you want them to be, and this can all change depending on which ones you use. So we have Underdog, which will give us these abilities. And we got this one as well, which allows me to fight with my shield. But you can swap these out for something else. But they're still working on how which abilities go with what. Let's see, what else do we have? We have the talent trees, which I already showed you. Then we have the bank. Now I do notice that they have made some major changes with this. I'm not sure if this is what the end result is going to be or not. I'm not sure, but it is a major improvement from what they had before. Before it was just a box, kind of looked like this, and you just drag everything in there, and now it's actually sorted by value and size and whatnot. and you can even search it up. I'm not sure if everything works yet, but it's a major improvement from what they had before. Then we have the settings. Now keep in mind this might get better the further the game gets developed. Let's see. So there aren't that many options yet, but as I mentioned before, they are still working on the game. Here, the key bindings and whatnot, this may change in the future, I am not sure. Same with this one. So, everything I'm showing you now can and probably will change in the future. Not sure yet, but this is how it is current. Not sure what this button does. Then we got the talent points, which I already shown you, and this particular one is the map, which I also shown you. And here we can literally change our map. So every little block that you see here can be individually placed, but this can also be individually crafted or purchased, but it doesn't really give you an advantage over other players. But everything you see can be crafted, so you don't necessarily have to purchase it. Like literally, you can literally craft all of that stuff. I'm gonna see if I can show you. Even this building can be crafted. And there's many more stuff. Let's see. Like I said, I am not sure if I can show everything, because it requires a lot of resources. So here we can have like building materials for actual buildings. Let's see. Then we have here is the most interesting part. All of these things are parcels, and these parcels are the blocks that I show you on the map. You can literally craft all of those parcels. Literally, you can craft them. So you can literally build your own world. So here we have like some other stuff, like these are all the crafting tables, which I still need to craft, which I haven't done yet. Then we got some more stuff here. Like it goes quite far. And then we got some more stuff here, like the list keeps on going. We can craft NPC vendor stalls. We can have like literally shops that we can craft and build. We can sell items and buy items. There's like a whole economy. And since things like weapons and armor decay after a certain amount of time and after a certain amount of fights, you will probably need a new weapon at some point. So you will need a blacksmith to make you a new weapon. But that blacksmith needs resources. So farmers will need to go out there, but they will also need tools where the crafters come in. And the PvPers will need to protect the farmers. So there's a constant circle. There's always something to do. Like, the crafters need to be protected, because if you die, everything that you have in your inventory can be taken. So keep that in mind. The only thing that you will not lose is the stuff that you have equipped. But everything else that's in your inventory can and probably will be taken by other players if you die. So if you farmed a lot and you get killed, players can loot your corpse and will take your items. So you will need a bodyguard that will protect you from bandits and that kind of stuff. So the DPSers, as I may say, or the guards, will protect the farmers. The farmers will do their job, and the bodyguards will protect the farmers. Because without the farmers, the PvPers won't have any weapons. So, see what I'm going at? So the farmers gather resources to bring it to the crafters, and they can craft the tools and the armor and weapons. So there's a constant circle of materials. There's always a need for something. So there's always something to do. If you're not a farmer, but a crafter, then you will need resources, so you'll probably need to hire a farmer. But that farmer will need to hire some bodyguards, because if you play it alone, definitely not recommended. There are ways to do it, but the more difficult the area, the better the quality of resources. Like personal kingdoms do not contain like iron ore or that kind of stuff. This may change in the future, but it will probably be at low quality, such as gray quality. Now, if you already noticed in some of my items, they are legendary, which require legendary items to craft, and that's the high-end tier resources, which can only be obtained in either story mode or some really difficult areas where there's a lot of PvP and you will get killed. So yeah, the better quality resources you want, the more dangerous the area will be. But for the low end quality, such as these gray items, you can farm them in the safe areas. But as I mentioned before, they are great quality, so they will break a lot quicker than the legendary. Like as you can see, this one, it doesn't have that many stats. And if we look at some other items, they will have better stats on them, and they will last a lot longer. And especially in the armor department. Same with the tools, they have durability. This one is a poor quality, which has a durability of 65, and I have 28 left. And it will go down the more I use it. So every time I hit a tree with my axe, it will lose 1 durability. But I can craft new tools here, such as a basic axe. Depending on which resources I use, I get either a better or a worse quality. So for an example, this is a poor quality wood. If you put it in there, I can craft and I get like a poor quality axe. So there we have a new axe. And the better quality the wood would be, the better quality tool you might get. So it's basically straightforward in that department. But as I mentioned before, the pieces of land like this is a piece of land that you can literally craft yourself. And you can move it in your personal kingdom wherever you want to be. Now, another great thing about this game is when you do campaign mode or any other mode, the land is never the same. Once the campaign ends and they start a new campaign, it will never be the same. It will always be randomly generated. Even the resources will not always be at the same areas, as far as my understanding goes. Now, we do get hungry in this game, as you can see on the little chicken bones or food meat thingies in the corner, underneath the health and stamina and energy. Now, we do need to eat, so the characters will get hungry, and some characters get more hungry than others. For an example, I know that I think they call them, I just call them cow creatures. Okay, I forgot the name, my apologies. Not centaurs, but I'm really sorry, I forgot the name. I just call them bull creatures. They have a massive consumption of food, if I'm not mistaken. So they will need to eat a little bit more than a normal character. But they also come with some other benefits, like for example, they might be stronger, or they might have more health and that kind of stuff. But every character has his strong points and his weak points. So it really depends on what you like to play. So enough of that. That's basically what I can show you on here. Now, resources will require different tools. Like for example, these stones. I don't think these can be harvested, but there are some over there. Like these stones can be harvested, but you will need a hammer for it. Then I'm not sure if I can find some ore deposits. The ore deposits basically have like some lines on them, which I am not able to see right now. Oh, there's some at the starting point. So right in front of me, where the little dot is right now, is one of the ore deposits. Yeah, I'm sorry that I'm not running faster. I think that's... Oh, which button did I press? There we go, now I walk a little bit faster. Now keep in mind, this is still all in development. So this is one of the ore collector bits. Now this is just like slack ore. It doesn't really have that much value. So yeah. As I said, this is a personal kingdom. It doesn't have that much valuable stuff. And it's basically a really poor, crappy material, but it can get you started. As in for the other stuff, I'm not sure if I have them in the bank. So as you can see, we have like ash wood, which is this is a legendary quality, and it's an actual resource. Such as if you look at some of these things that we can craft, it will actually require some proper wood. Like at some point, it will say that it will refuse to take a nut wood. Wood, it will require a actual resource. I'm not sure if I can actually show you, because this is just something that they will take. But if you go to a crafting bench, I might be able to show you a little bit later. It will require you to actually use proper resources. Like I said, I'm not sure if I can actually... Oh, non-basic ore. So I cannot use that slack ore that I was talking about. So it will take any ore as long as it's not a basic ore, which I was talking about. So this, for example, is a non-basic material. And you can see that they vary as well. And yes, we also have like body parts, and that is needed for necromancing. Yes, there is necromancing, and I will go a little bit into that a little later. Then we have some more resources. So this is the ore that I was talking about. This is iron ore, legendary quality, which can be obtained from a very difficult area. Now, like I said before, this is a test server. So I could literally go up to a vendor and get whatever I need in order to test it. So that's why I decided to show you here, because it makes it a little bit easier to show you straight off the bat without going out there and farm the shit out of everything, because it would take too much time to show everybody a quick how things look. Then we got also some other stuff which is obtainable in the campaign mode, and if you want to harvest these type of things, it will drain your food and your stamina a lot quicker. But yeah, then we have some more food. And sorry for the bird, my bird is being happy. We have hide and a lot more stuff, which can all be farmed and crafted and so on and so on. Resources. Now, as I said before, there will also be buildings, like that one over there, that can also be built. So let me log over and see if I can show you some bits in the campaign, if there's a campaign up and running. Yes, Bert, we know you're there. And there are also 4 seasons as well, and depending on how far you are in the season, the more difficult it will become to gather food. So let me just browse if there's a campaign up or not. And if not, I might need to switch servers. and there doesn't seem to be a campaign. There are some other bits here. So as you can see, some of them may have a minimum requirement as well, depending on which one you go to. So let's enter this one. Unable to join this campaign. Character has too many items to import. Okay, another one then. Nope. Offline, enter world. I think I need to select a different character then. Let's see. Oh, wrong button. Back. And this one I can't because I'm not level 1 yet. Okay, then we go on God's Reach then, which will roughly be the same-ish. God's Reach is basically how you get started. So this is basically the spawning area where we can collect some things. Now, because this is the starting area, it will probably be pretty peaceful, not too much going on here. So first when you start here, you will basically be completely naked, and you'll basically start here. Now there should also be some meat in here, but I think people already took it, and it hasn't respawned yet. There you go. This is what you basically start with. Now you can also cook food with the fire. And you can make some stuff here as well if you have the resources for it. But I'm gonna rush through it a little bit so you can literally see a little bit of the game, how it works, and what you can expect. And it's been quite some time since I've played this, and I'm really impressed on how the game looks so far. It looks a little better than actually it looks a lot better actually. So all of these webs have a little bit more detail than the last time that I was here. Like, it pops out a lot more than before. Like, first it was kind of like part of the background, you know. It's kind of like, it was just like, it looked kind of like a picture, and now it actually pops out like an actual, like, you can see that, hey, this has been actually created by webs, and oh my god, it looks nice. So that's pretty nice. Now I haven't set it up my key bindings yet, so my apologies. But I think it looks very nice compared than what I seen before. So let's go combat mode. Let's see. I don't think I had charge on my bar. Let's have a quick look. Abilities. Do I have charge yet? No, I don't think I have. There's a ability. Oh. And I think I'm killing them a little bit too fast. So my apologies for that. Because I'm a little bit stronger than normal. Like, I shouldn't be able to. Well, normally when you start, you're not supposed to kill them that fast. But because I'm quite strong, And there's no group loot, you literally have to loot them individually. Oh, we actually got a gun. And I'm gonna use it though. Now I can skin them if I wanted to. Oh, we got some more loot. They actually implemented a little bit more loot than like this is literally what you usually start with. But since I already have gear, it's a lot easier for me to do. I don't think I have a thingy on me. A knife. Oh, I forgot to loot this one. And there we go. And I don't think I have a pickaxe. Nope. But I should be able to make one. Let's see, pickaxe. Oh, I had one, never mind. So these things are hunger crystals, I would say. You can mine them. Now normally they wouldn't respawn too fast, but because it's still in test and all that kind of stuff, it respawns almost instantly, as you will notice here. Normally it will not respawn like that, but this is the starting area and it's just to test everything out. Now I'm just kind of need to figure out which direction I need to go, because it's been a while. Let me check the map real quick. Okay, I kind of need to go that direction. Oh, there it is. I need to go that way. Now normally that would summon a mount, but they haven't implemented the mounts yet. And in all honesty, it does speed up the running a little bit, but it would have been nice if it would be a little faster than that. So as I mentioned before, this is the test server. So I can literally get what I want literally from here. So wow, that's quite a big... They actually increased the size of this, because it used to be like 4 blocks. Oh, it's still 4 blocks. Okay. It just look very big. But yeah, as you can see here, like I literally can take what I need and want, because this is the test server. But normally you have to farm and craft it yourself. That's basically the same thing. I'm gonna try to do this as fast as I can. So here we got some more stuff, like runes and all that kind of stuff. So these are the things that I was talking about. And if you unlock them, you can literally put them in the slots, but I haven't unlocked everything yet. So unfortunately, and there's so many of abilities that you can choose. Like you can have a field day with like to figure out which one you actually want, and that's just a minor. Then we have like the bigger ones. Let's see. So personally, I like mining. There we go. And I guess I could go for skinning or that kind of stuff. What's this? Oh, that the tools don't decay that fast. Like literally, you can have a field day with these kind of stuff. I guess I go with rocks. And then we also have skills, of course. Like I said, you can have literally a field day. And each one has its own unique abilities and whatnot. And you can literally have a field day. Like literally have a blast, I would say. And I think you can even craft these, I'm not sure, to be honest. So don't quote me on that. But yeah, I have a field day on that as well. But there should be one. Oh no, never mind. Let's see, can I equip them yet? Yes. So now if we look at abilities, we'll see that we have a couple more available. And if we change these, we can get other stuff as well. But you can literally have a field day with that. Just I think most of them will be drop rate. Like I don't think you can actually buy them unless people are actually selling it. But because this is the test server, I can just pick what I want and have a field day. So don't expect that to start off with. But you can literally have a field day, and you can spend the entire day sorting out which one you can, which one you want, and where it drops, and how to get it, and so on and so on. Like I said before, if you want to be a tank and you want to heal, then go for it. There's like a lot of things to choose from. And oh my god, they actually put in colors now. I haven't seen all of this yet. Looks very pretty. That's all new. So we have also different factions. Now, normally you would be able to choose which faction you want to belong to, but I think it was kind of imbalanced, so now they just throw you into one. But I'm not sure if they will change that later on. But this is just one of the cities, I would say. So now we are also in a different realm, as you can see here. These are enemy camps, and oh nice, you can even see some additional information about it. Interesting. That's all new. I haven't seen that at all. So you can even zoom in a little. Like they did a great job. Like look how beautiful this is. And this is still all in development. This is still pre-alpha. And I think they did an amazing job. Like pre-alpha stuff usually doesn't have this many colors. It's usually all gray sandbox. Now, given the first time I was playing this stuff, it was all gray. No colors and no stuff, like literally naked. But now they actually put in a lot of details, and it's still a pre-alpha. So I'm really, really impressed. Like, look at the details of some things. Like, I don't think. Let me try to zoom in a little better. Look at the food details. Like the meat. That is impressive. Oh wow, I haven't seen that before. Nice. So these are the vendors, I would say. So this was basically how it looks if a player would like to sell. You get like a little stall, and then there will be a vendor there. But this is the main city. Now, like I said before, this is the test server, so everything is available from the get-go. But if you play the normal server, that will not be the case. And this looks very nice. I remember that this was all gray and there was literally nothing here. So these are the chest banks, so this will be your own bank. And I think this will be the local bank. No, that's all the same. There will be local banks through the game, through the world, where you can store your inventory stuff. Like everything that you carry here, you can literally like dump it in a chest, so if you die that they won't be able to take it from you. Because if you die, everything that you do not have equipped, they will be able to take. Now, if I'm not sure if this was the fire to sacrifice stuff in, yes it is. So I'm gonna sacrifice some bits here and there, because it will gain me levels. Now some bits will give you 0, and some things will not work, depending on what it is. Now, as I said before, some bits here and there are just to start you off with. Now this will also be taken if you die, so make sure if you loot stuff that you store it into your bank or a local bank. So that's why I also recommended not playing alone. Now, as I mentioned before, this is a safe area with no PvP as far as I am aware of from the different faction. I think you still be able to duel players. My apologies, but you cannot actually be killed as far as I'm aware of, unless you get killed by an NPC, of course, which I will try to find. Oh, there's a camp right there. And keep in mind, I haven't actually seen this yet. So, oh nice, we have boars. And there we have some, oh, I think they're hostile. Yeah, they are. Okay, oh yeah, I'm mounted, hold on. It's kinda like getting used to the controls again. Oh wow. Oh, minotaurs. That's how those bull characters are. I'm sorry, I'm not using all of my abilities. It's because I killed them too fast. But this should be interesting. Now, I don't have all my key bindings set up, so my apologies for that. But combat can be quite intense. Especially when you have multiple. And it's been quite a long time since I played this. Oh, as you can see, these things do drop from NPCs now, it seems. So, and I have no idea what that is. But yeah, it looks like the game is actually starting to come together quite nicely. Because those were things that I've never seen before. And I would say that it's getting really close to actually going Yeah, it's actually playable now. Like there's actual stuff to do now. And I haven't seen all of that yet. Very nice. So now it actually starts to look like a game. I am... Oh, that was my charge. Oh, it was 7 key. Like I said, I haven't played this in ages. But I'm really impressed what they've done with the game so far. There's some more resources over there. Like you see those little fireflies in the distance over there. Those means that they're like non-basic materials. And oh my god, the daze is real. So here we can see that there's a clear difference between basic material and non-basic material. And this is tin, rank 2. There we go. And if you have the skill for it, you will get more out of it. So there we go. We have all these materials. So this is the stuff that I just looted. And it's a common quality. Now I could mine the rest, but I'm not really interested in it right now. Then we got some more herbs which can be used for cooking and alchemy. And if you talk about recipes, oh my god, there's so many. Like there's definitely stuff to choose from. Like it's not like, oh, let me farm everything and just click on it once and it will craft the item. No, you actually have to put the items in and craft it. And depending on which ingredients you use, it can... oh! Bad pussycat. Depending on which ingredients you choose, you can also get like different food and different buffs. Like there's so many stuff that you can do here. Now this is a big mining node which required 2 people, as you can see with the little icons. That's just a 1 and that's a 2, so you need 2 people to mine this simultaneously, and they do need to have that ability in their skill tree, in their talents, which would be under here. Explorer, it will be, I think it was under here. And I think it's also under here. So they will need to have these things in order to mine them. And they drop quite a lot of resources. Like they can even drop gems and whatnot. But as I said, this is a safe area, so you can mine in peace. But it's all common or poor quality. Like this is a rank 2, which is relatively easy to mine. And my tool was about to break. And these are all non-basic materials. And if you craft tools, for an example, if you I don't think I can show you right now because I don't have it on hand, but there's a tip. If you have like a piece of paper and you want to make a rune tool, if you use iron and tin, you can get a additional ability on it, or an additional skill, which is something that you have to figure out yourself, which I find pretty impressive. Like depending on which material you use, you get different buffs, different strengths and weaknesses, or additional skills. but that's all something you have to like figure out. For an example, as I mentioned before with the paper, if you use paper and you use tin, you get like a quality, and then you get like the normal stuff on it. But if you use tin and iron, you get like an additional skill on it, or an additional ability or whatnot. It all depends on what type of resources you use. But if you use, like for example, I don't know if it's actually true, iron and gold for an example, you get like something completely different. The same with gear. If you use gold and tin for an example, you can either get like a completely random item or completely different stats depending on what you use. So yeah, have fun experimenting with it. They all have like different skills and abilities, and now I will actually be able to show you all the different rune tables. Like this is the rune table, which will allow you to make better tools, like better pickaxes and whatnot. But you will need like papers and that kind of stuff, which you will need from a different rune tool. Like you can even make like disciplines and whatnot, depending on how far you go with it. Then we have the basic crafting station, which is basic. You can make metal bars, non-basic materials, depending on what you use. You get different stats, like if I use these ores, for example. I don't think I have any more on me. You can get like a certain stat, and if I use different ore, I get a different stat. If you use 3 different ores, you might get like a really strange misfire, and you get like something random out of it. Like that's all things you can experiment with. And oh, here we can make a vendor. So yeah, depending on which table you use and which abilities you have, you can like go dual crafting and whatnot, but you do require the skills for it. Now this, I am very impressed with. Like look at the details, and that's the cooking station. I find it really nicely done with the amount of detail they put in it. I'm really impressed, and it's still pre-alpha. Like it looks very nice. This is the blacksmithing table, leatherworking table, alchemy table, and this is something that looks very impressive with a minotaur head. This is the now keep in mind, I think they still need to fix that a little bit, but this is the necromancing table, where you can literally craft a body. Like no joke, you can literally craft a full-blown body. And you do need to dig up graves in order to get the body parts. You can even decapitate players if you kill them. It is awesome. It is amazing. It doesn't have a monthly fee. You just pay. Oh wow, this is all new. I haven't seen this. So you just have to pay for the game once, and that's it. There's no monthly fee as of yet. And right now, it is playable, but it's still in development. So they will do a reset at some point. But yeah, they actually do listen to the community. Like, if there's something that people really don't like, then you can talk about it, and they will literally listen to you and take it in. They will literally listen and think about it, if they should take it out or not, depending on how many people don't like it. Like at some point, there was something in the game, a lot of people didn't like it, so they removed it. Or people had some ideas what they should do with the game, and they actually put it in. So I am quite it's something that I've never seen developers do. Like the amount of support that they give you, and the amount of stuff that they put in it, as in so much effort and so much love that they put into this. They really listen to the consumer and basically the user, and it's all crowdfunded. There's no company telling them what to do. This is purely crowdfunded, and they really listen to the people. And there's no big company that's telling them what to do, and so they're true what they believe in or what this game should be. And I really respect them for that. They did an awesome job so far. Like I mentioned, this is still pre-alpha, and more and more stuff is coming into the game. I don't think I actually have a video on hand, but let me check if I can just look one up real quick from a previous video that we did, and I might be able to show you how it looked back then and how it looks now. Just let me see if I can find a quick video. My apologies, I have not prepared for this. So I'm gonna pause the video a little bit until I found something so I can show you. Okay, I found an old video. So this was way back then, also pre-alpha. So you may notice some changes here and there. And back then they didn't really have a starting zone. It was kind of like a small village, and that's where you started. There weren't as many stuff to do. There were there were almost no NPCs. There were basically, like you do see that some bits are still the same, but if you look at the inventory, they have changed a massive amount. There's a lot more extras in there, and yeah, this is how it looked back then. Full of bugs, I am not joking. Like here we have a guy literally stuck in a rock that respawned, and we call it the Hungry Hippo game. Like he was literally stuck, and in order to free him I had to like mine him out of there, which was pretty hilarious. Like people like, I am stuck, can you please help me? And like there was no way to get out of there. Like either you starved to death or you literally had to get mined out. But this was very early, like I think it was like 2 years ago. So literally here I freed him. And it was literally the Hungry Hippo game. Like, things just popped out of the ground. And it was like, nom, and it had your character, and you were stuck. So it was hilarious. But as you can see from the inventory, let me pause it here. So we have like these have completely changed. So let me minimize that real quick. If you look at it now, it has changed completely. So yeah, that's a massive upgrade that they have now. So that has changed. The stats have changed. There's some more things here. Some additional stuff left and right. But yeah, this was, like I said, a pretty old video. And I was doing a live stream when I was recording this. And it was very, very early on. But this is what they had back then, and now they have way more. Like at this current time of when I recorded this, like as you can see, there's no seasons, there's nothing. The only thing that was in this particular game or this particular setting were like there were boars, skeletons, and that was it. There were not even spiders back then, if I'm not mistaken. Like, spiders that were not in the game yet. I think they do have feral cats, but that was about it. You had cats, zombies, and boars, and that was it. There was nothing else. Later on, I think 2 months later, after this recording, they added in some spiders, and a couple of months later they had some more stuff in it. Like, they have way more stuff, but everything you see right now is still in the game but more polished. Like, as you can see, there are no herbs, there are only trees and stones, and that was it. There was literally nothing else, and this was the starting area of the campaign. So as you can see, we have boars here, but they were very buggy, and they really didn't look as good as they do now. Like, now they look a little better, but they were like really buggy. The combat has changed like significantly, but the abilities are roughly still the same. But as you can see, back then there was quite a bit of lag and so on and so on. But since then, if you compare it to now, there's a major server improvement. The combat is a lot smoother, a lot less bugs, like a lot less bugs. It's way more polished than when this was recorded, and it was just a lot better. So I'm not sure if I can find some more videos. Let me go to the last one, see if I can actually show. I don't think they had it back then. Let me see if I can find some more. So give me a moment. I'm just gonna see if I can find some other videos. Okay, and we're back. So I found a more recent video. This was, I think, about a year ago, I think. Like, we have now an actual interface to interact with other players. Back then, when I showed you the other video, we didn't have that. We literally had to type commands in order to invite and trade and so on and so on. And now we actually have a physical interface, which is something we didn't have before. And eventually I will be able to invite my buddy. So this is the starting area, as I said before. And if we go a little bit further into the video, we will see the changes that they made. Let me see where it is. I think we have the spider area now. So as you can see, it's not as popping out as before. The spiders look a little different. Let me go a little bit further back so you can see it better. So right now, I don't know how to describe it, but I think they pop a little bit more out than before. Like, right now, it's all a little dull, as in, like, not as sharp colored, if you know what I mean. It kind of fades into the background, if you know what I mean. Like, if you look at the webbing, for example, if I can keep my camera still. Like, as you can see, it's not as sharp as I shown you earlier in the video. Like, it's all a little bit like faded, a little like low resolution, if I say so. But compare from what I showed you earlier, it's a lot sharper and it pops out a lot more. So this is basically like, I think a year ago since this was recorded. We have the seasons, same as we have now, and yeah, it just looks a little bit better now. So let me skip a little further, because I think I will be able to show you the capital, and you can literally see on how it looked back then. So that's the crystal, because I would really like to show you the city, if it actually shows up in this video. I'm not sure. No, I don't think it's this video. I'll look for it, see if I have it. If I don't have it, then I'll just continue where I left off. And welcome back. I think I did find the city now, so I can show you the difference. So this is how it looked like like a half a year ago. As you can see, there is some stuff there, but it isn't as polished as it is now. Like, it's really like naked. There aren't any special things. So here, for example, if you look at here, there aren't any carpets, and this is literally how it looks. So let me pause it, And let me go back to the game so I can go to the same position. Like if you can already see the massive difference. So let me see if I can actually get it side by side. So I was standing here ish. So look at this, what we have here. And now look at this. It's like pretty empty. And now we have this, so it's way more polished. And that's roughly the same view as in like we had there. Let me see if I can make this slightly bigger. There we go. So that is it when back then, and this is what it is now. Oh, let me go a little further. So kind of like here. This is where roughly we're standing, because you did see a little bit of the gate. So from that to that, you know, like from this to that. Like you can see that the floor has been put in, as you can see in on the side of the screen. Like this was just all flat, and now they actually have some more detail. So you can already see like some massive changes that they've done over the year. Like there are way more vendors, as you can see. This was all pretty basic, and this was the live server nonetheless. So let me, as you can see here, there's an actual bar here now. So if we minimize that now here, and we go the same route, so we go here. And then I'm gonna actually turn right here, so that's the same view. And now we have from this. And that's the same view that I'm standing right now. And now we have this. And that's the exact spot that I was looking at. So you can see it's way more polished than when we look at here. This was all very basic. So you can already see the massive amount of difference there is. And we also had like skills and abilities and whatnot. So I'm trying to see if I can look a little bit more around, because there's so much to see. I'm trying not to skip too much. Like even the resources that we gain have like changed in how things looked. But yeah, that's literally the difference from back then. And this is like a year ago, roughly. And this is all still pre-alpha and stuff like that. But you can literally see the amount of difference. So here, I don't think there were that many changes here. So as you can see, it's pretty empty, not many colors and whatnot. So that's the bank. So let me go into the bank now. So that's literally here. And it looks a little bit better than before. Like it looks a little bit intenser, if I may say so. Now I assume that there's gonna be more stuff here, but it's still in development. Like I know that there is going to be a guild bank, but no idea where they're gonna put that one. Not sure if they're gonna color those statues and whatnot. But yeah, things are still being put in. It's still pre-alpha, but my god, the amount that they already put in here is quite impressive. And I haven't played it for a very long time. So this was uploaded like, yeah, almost a year ago. And this was a private video that hasn't been released yet. So yeah. We were working on it, but due to the resets, and we've been really occupied and busy, so we haven't been able to show much. But yeah, it looks pretty amazing from what they had and what they have now. And you can literally see the difference between the two. Like, and this was almost a full year ago. So there's a massive improvement and difference. Like, even when we're going out and just mining stuff, there aren't any camps or stuff like that. I don't think I can show the map here. Like, here we're just harvesting the crap out of everything. But I don't think they had like NPCs that we could fight. Like, there weren't any camps yet. Like, it was pretty, like, this was everything you saw. And as you can see, there aren't any camps here yet. So yeah, it was pretty naked. There was not much to do but harvest and craft items and go full bore PvP. But now there's more and more PvE stuff. Like, I've heard there's going to be caravans that you can escort for resources and stuff like that. A couple of quests, if I'm not mistaken. Bosses that you can fight, but it's mostly PvE. No, PvP, sorry. You can literally siege castles and forts and whatnot. It's amazing. Like, I've already seen a siege. I don't think I have it on video, but you can literally have a catapult and break down the city wall, which is amazing. And you can literally build a city wall. You can build your own castle. But that's I don't think everything is in yet. But it is amazing. And if you die, you look like a crow. So here we have me as a crow when I died. And they actually have a fly mechanic now that you can actually fly as a crow. Back then you were stuck to the ground, and now you can actually fly. So here's the corpse where I died from. And like I said, there were still bugs. I don't like they've probably been resolved now. But yeah, it's amazing. And this game has so much potential. And I spent about, when the Kickstarter was going up, I literally spent about 500 for the packet that I purchased, because I was really looking forward to this game. And I'm planning to really start playing this once it's fully released. And we already have a guild and everything. We just would like to have more people to join us. Would be nice. My apologies. But yeah, this game has a lot of potential, and it has something for everyone, basically. If you want to be a full-blown PvPer, go ahead, be a PvPer. If you want to be a crafter, fine, be a crafter. If you want to be a farmer, then go ahead, be a farmer. Like, there's so much things to do. You can even be a landlord. You can literally, like, rent out territory and rent it out to your friends or other people in order to gain money. You can even be a merchant. Like, you can have, like, vendors selling stuff, you know? Like, you can roughly be what you want to be here. Like, there's so many things to do. Granted, right now it's still in development, but the amount of stuff that they already have, it is pretty playable. Like, and there's only more stuff to look forward to. Not everything is in yet, and yet this is what it is right now. Like, this is like recorded from a year ago, roughly, and it already looked this nice. So we already had a talent tree here as well. So yeah, there's so much stuff. Like, we have some more NPCs at that point, but now there's way more. Like, this is all from 1 year old. So here we have some more NPCs, and they're basically killing my friend right now. So I'm trying my best to to get them on me, and it actually takes a little bit more time and effort to kill this NPC. But this can also be a player, but because it's a safe zone, yeah, they go a little bit easier on you. But yeah, it's great fun, and there's still more to come. This is all just all in development, but what they have right now, I mean, just look at it, and it's still pre-alpha, but I think they did an amazing job on how it looks. Like, I'm really impressed what they have done with the place. Like, even this bit here, like, more and more stuff is coming into the game, and it looks amazing. As I mentioned before, this is a safe area, so this will roughly stay the same. But as soon as you go further than this, things will change. It will not be the same, and it will become a lot harder. But this is roughly the starting area, and there's a lot to offer. Like, you see those things over there, those are actually portals from two worlds, and depending on which portal you take, the more difficult it will become. So I'm just gonna show you a couple, and it looks like they actually have a couple more portals. Like, I remember there were only 3 portals, now they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I think this will be a 6th one once it gets released. But yeah, they're different worlds. Rank 3, rank 4, rank 5, rank 6 and 8. So you can see that it becomes more and more difficult depending on where you go. And these territories will change eventually. So yeah, just to give you a heads up. And they're all randomly generated. So this is the world that we're looking at right now. This is not, let's see, free city. I'm not sure if this, I don't think this is a safe zone-ish, I think. I'm not sure, actually. Oh, wow. Oh, I see what they've done. I haven't seen this, actually. I think this is actually a reuse of the city that they had in the first video that I just shown. I think this is a polished version of it. Yeah, it's definitely a polished version. Wow, this looks amazing. So this is one of the vendor stalls I was talking about. Now, usually there should be an NPC standing in front of it. But that's all customizable. There we have a weapon shop. A nice big ass tree in the middle. I think this is one of the first zones that they released. So there should be some boars over there, if I remember correctly. Wow, this looks amazing. Yeah, this was the first zone that I showed you in the first video. They updated it and they reused it. This looks amazing. Oh wow, this is a graveyard now. Oh, that looks cool. So I guess at night there will be skeletons roaming around here. This looks amazing. This looks absolutely amazing. And this is still alpha? What? Wow. Like, this game has so much potential. And yes, this can all be destroyed. In theory. Like, I've seen burned down houses and broken down gates. Like, that wall can completely be destroyed. That literally can be completely destroyed. But yeah, this is literally a reuse of a territory, of a spawning area, where what I showed you in the first video. Yep, there we have some broken down houses. Oh man, this looks amazing. Yep, it's definitely a reuse, and they updated it with more stuff. So this is how a broken house looks like. Now, depending on where it is and which materials were used, yeah, it can all change. But basically, you can craft these houses as well. Like, everything you see can be crafted. I'm not sure about the lamppost, but the houses, like this one for example, can literally be crafted. That thing over there can be crafted. That thing over there can be crafted. It can all be crafted, and I really need food. My character's getting hungry. But yeah, it looks amazing. Like, they didn't have this much stuff in the beginning. So yeah, there you have it. And if you want to go back, you could just go back through the portal. I really should mount up. Now there will be mounts. I've already seen some artwork from it, and yeah, I'm pretty excited on that. And creatures will decay. If it becomes winter, then you'll probably see a lot of creatures being decayed. Like, you will see like bones and that kind of stuff, and rotten flesh. So let's have a look at rank 3. And hopefully I won't get insta-gipped. That they're literally waiting for me at the end of the portal. But I doubt it, because this is the server. Let's have a look how the map looks like. So we have some camps here. Some mountains. What's over there? Curious. Just want to have a quick look because I haven't seen it before. It looks amazing. Oh, that's a tent. That's an actual tent. Is it friendly or hostile? I think that might, yeah, definitely hostile. Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm not in oh my god, I'm not in combat mode. And that's an actual playable race, just to give you a heads up. Yeah, I haven't seen all of that yet. But yeah, all of this stuff will change. Like once the campaign ends, it will close down and it will restart, and it will be a completely different world. But basically, as I mentioned before, most of that stuff can be crafted. But yeah, if you want to know more about the game, feel free to check out their channel. Feel free to take a look at their website. And yeah, as I mentioned before, this game has a lot to offer. I'm really excited about it. And I can't wait for the full release. And as I mentioned before, even though it's still pre-alpha, it's pretty playable. There's actually stuff to do now. And it's only a one-time purchase. There's no monthly fee. So you don't have to worry about it. It's not like World of Warcraft, for an example. And the customer support was really well. Like it was really good. But I think it's also because a lot of people weren't familiar with the game yet. There weren't that many people testing it. So yeah, let me just go here. So we have the forums as well. Let me just go to their website, so it was a little bit easier to do it this way. So this is their website. You can sign up for the beta. Now, like I said, I show you the pre-alpha one, but it is playable on the live server. Feel free to check out their website if you want to go through it and so on and so on. Let's see, you can basically either buy the game or buy like the adventure pack, and you do get some additional stuff with it. Like I said before, it's a one-time purchase, so you don't have to constantly spend money on it. Now keep in mind, I don't know what I'm about to say is still something that they're doing, but if you make an account and you join a guild before you purchase the game, then there is a chance you can get a discount. So you get like, for example, if you get this one, it will cost you like $44.99, for an example. So that's something worth checking out. But I'm not sure if they're still doing it. But yeah, that's basically what it is. There's some other stuff you can purchase or whatnot. But yeah, the VIP is something that can change. It's not necessarily something that you need, but it is handy to have. Now here are some pictures of the mounts that you can get. Personally, I have the Fire Horse mount because that was part of the deal packet. Here's the pieces of land that you can purchase, but as I mentioned before, you can all craft this in the game. So if you don't want to spend money, you don't have to. But as I mentioned before, you can all craft this. You just have to farm the materials for it. And yeah, that kind of stuff. Like you can purchase it, but you can also craft it. So it's totally up to you. And they may remove this later. So keep that in mind. Same with these things. I'm not sure if you can craft these items. I think you can. Don't quote me on that. It's still... My apologies, I'm tired. Not enough sleep. But yeah, that's something that they may change because I didn't have the skills for it yet. So yeah, keep that in mind. Same with these things. These are all craftable. You can purchase them, but you can also craft them in-game. You will just need a lot of people to help you with this to speed it up. Like you need, like, I am not joking, a crap ton of resources to build all of this. But this is all craftable. You can all obtain this without spending a single piece of money. Like you just buy the game and you can play and you can literally farm it, and then you can have the exact same thing. The only difference between buying it and farming it is time. That's the only difference. You can either buy it, which saves you time, or you can farm for it. But other than that, there is no benefits at all. Like, okay, you have it earlier than other people, but as I mentioned, you can simply go out there and farm it. So that's what I really like about this game. It's not paid to win, at least not yet, and I hope they keep it that way. Uh, like, you can buy stuff, but it's mostly either cosmetics or items that everyone can use. So it's not specifically giving you an advantage over somebody else. So if it comes to characters and items, you cannot buy a higher item level gear, for an example. This is either buildings or land, but that doesn't benefit the individual player. Like, oh my god, I have a piece of land, so I am stronger than you. That's not it at all. Um, this is just something you can also craft. It will just, you will have it sooner. That's literally it. Same with the land. You can buy it or you can craft it. It just takes some time to farm it. But if you really go full bore on it, I think it will take you a week to craft the first piece of land, and you will also acquire the skill to craft it. So that's why I say a week, because you will need the skill to be able to make it. So you need the resources and the skill to build to craft it. So yeah, the VIP, they're still debating on what it can do, but as far as it stands now, is that you will be able to allow to train a double profession, as in simultaneously. So you can have any profession you want, but if you do not have PV or VIP, then you basically will only be able to train one profession. But if you have VIP, you will be able to train two professions, such as combat and crafting, or crafting and farming, or farming and combat. But other than that, it will not actually give you an individual boost, as in more power. Like, if you go full combat, then yeah, if you go combat with or without VIP, you still won't have an advantage over another player. It will only allow you to train double, like as I mentioned before, combat or combat and farming, or combat and crafting, or crafting and farming, and so on and so on and so on. So you will be able to train those skills at the same time, or you can either train one by one or two at the same time. That's what VIP is doing currently. I am not sure if there will be plans for more stuff, but that's how it is currently. But this may change over time, or they already have changed it, but I'm unaware of. So this is one of the pictures, or one of the monsters I was talking about. They have decayed, and they will literally change form. But if you want to know more about it, feel free to check them out. Check out their channel, their website, and so on and so on. And as I said before, you can literally siege a castle. How cool is that? So we have like catapult and shit like that. It's amazing. But yeah, feel free to check it out. And yeah, I would say I hope you guys will enjoy the game. And it has a lot to offer. It's still not finished, but it is playable. As in, like, I quite enjoy it, but I just didn't have the time to play much, or else I would have done this sooner. But anyway, thank you for watching this video. A great thanks and shout out to crowfall for making an awesome game. And no, I am not sponsored, at least not yet. I am not being paid to do this either, at least not yet. But I am very excited for this game, and I hope you will be excited for this game as well. Show them some love, check out our channels, and yeah, again, thanks for watching, and I'll hope to see you guys in the next one.